The Twitter files on U.S. military disinformation begins with a guy named Nathaniel Kaler working with U.S. Central Command, which is called CENTCOM. And he tells Twitter, please whitelist all these Arab language accounts that, quote, we use to amplify certain messages. This is code for lies. We're putting out lies. We want you to help us put out lies. And in the spreadsheet, he sends 52 accounts. And he asks for priority service for 6 of them. One of them, for example, was called @Yemen Current. Again, pretends to be kind of a website inside of Yemen, giving people information. But essentially what the military is trying to do here is control the public opinion in Yemen about the impact of U.S. drone strikes in Yemen. They're putting out information through this account, pretending again to be a Yemeni source. That, yeah, these drone strikes are actually only killing the bad guys. No civilians really died. Now, again, I don't know whether any civilians died in the strike or not, but my point is the U.S. military here does not hesitate to be masquerading as Yemenis and putting out the same kind of false information that, for example, Russia is now putting out about the Ukraine. And it goes on like this. By and large, we find that this is not just going on in Yemen, it's going on all over the place. Now, interestingly, the Twitter files corroborate something that was discovered by researchers at something called the Stanford Internet Observatory. They had noticed several months ago in a report that a whole bunch of accounts on Twitter appeared to be part of a sort of state-run, meaning U.S. state-run intelligence operation. The people in those accounts weren't real. In fact, their faces had been generated through, it's called photorealism. In other words, a practice called deepfakes. So it looks like a real person, but artificial intelligence has created this non-existing individual. And these memes and faces and websites were created, by the way, not just on Twitter. The Stanford Observatory noticed they were on Telegram, they were on Facebook. And in most cases, there was no disclosure that these were accounts being run by the U.S. military. And this is the point, that in all these Arabic language accounts and Yemeni accounts and so on, the description is serving Iraqis and Arabs. So again, people are given the impression that this is a local account run by a local guy. So this is disinformation. And remember, I think I said this yesterday, there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation is when somebody believes something that is mistaken. And so you're misinformed. But there's a certain innocence that goes along with misinformation. Disinformation is a whole different matter. Typically, disinformation is a systematic, knowing promulgation of lies and knowing suppression of the truth. And apparently, Twitter has been an accessory to disinformation. I mean, it's kind of ironic because all these social media platforms say, well, we're actively suppressing misinformation and disinformation. And what's becoming really clear, no, not only are they not actively suppressing misinformation, they're often suppressing information. And moreover, they are promulgating disinformation. And again, Twitter has been honest enough to put it on the table. Here's Elon Musk. Here's my crime scene. You check it out. You look at it. Here are the emails. Here are the texts, redacted with the names in some cases, but nevertheless, right there for the public to see. This is what makes the news media's refusal to cover all this also interesting because, again, this is material of undisputed authenticity. And we know it's going on at YouTube. We know it's going on at Google, going on at Meta. We just haven't seen the crime scene because those people are still covering it up. Of course, the game is up. We kind of know that that's what they're doing too, but they haven't fessed up. I guess that's the point. Now, Elon Musk is doing such an important job at Twitter that I'm a little pained to say that he ran, in my opinion, a very foolish poll. Should I stay on as the CEO? He was voted down in that poll, 57, I think, to 43, and he's decided, well, I guess the people have spoken, and I need to step down. Now, I think that this poll is distorted by a number of things. In fact, the Babylon Bee was joking that, yeah, Elon Musk was losing until the mail-in vote came in, and then he won decisively, and Joe Biden style retained his position. But the reality is that a lot of conservatives fled Twitter after the great banning and great suppression, the great deplatforming of 2020 and 2021. And And so you guys still have a lot of leftists on Twitter, and of course, a lot of leftists working at Twitter. And so the point is, who knows if this is an actual vote, but evidently it could be. Debbie says, well, maybe Elon Musk never intended to really run Twitter, and that's possible. I mean, the most important point, of course, is that he has someone who is as committed to free speech as he is. Apparently, a leading candidate is a friend of mine, David Sachs, who went to Stanford, wrote a book about denouncing political correctness at Stanford many years ago. Great guy, now a kind of a part of the tech and venture capitalist industry. I noticed Blake Masters did a very interesting thread on his Twitter feed about what he would do to fix Twitter. And I was reading that and thinking, well, are you sort of auditioning for the job here? He laid out ways in which he would improve the financial picture of Twitter. So Blake Masters could be trying to put himself in contention. Well, either way, point I want to make is that we need Twitter as a free speech, on the free speech front line. And I hope that Elon Musk can ensure that it stays that way.